There's been a disturbance in the force, thanks to this big old thing, and this thing here. But I have 100 days to defeat them all.
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
This is Arc Omega, which is Arc's largest mod pack. This is a mod that basically changes how you play Arc. It has MMORPG vibes with different armor sets that give various bonuses. Basic tier dinos that can take you all the way up to god level in so many different variants. It's like a gacha machine. You never know what variant you're gonna get next. This is a mod you can actually play for months and was the longest running mod on our Discord yet. Wait, did you just hear that? That's right, I said our Discord, which will make you tall if you're short, grow hair if you're bald, and generally will just make you your favorite anime character. Nah, I cap. But that would be pretty cool if it was true, right? The only thing joining will do is make me happy. So why not join and put a smile on a slime's face today? You also get to access all the servers we run for our members, like this one here. Also, hit that sub button or that smiling slime right here will turn into a frowning one. And you wouldn't want that, right? You're not a monster. And maybe like the video too. It's day one on this deserted island map called Olympus. Danger is around every corner. Am I scared? No way. I'm ready for whatever Arc Omega has to offer. Plus, I'm wearing my brown pants today. I went around gathering till I realized that you can actually start with a gathering tool, a sickle, and a wooden club. The gathering tool can be used as a pickaxe or axe by rotating the way you hold it. I saw something called the newbie bug, which gives me 200% EXP and 100% MF, which I assume is magic fine. I don't really remember what it does, but I know right now is the best time to grind. Looked over the guide a bit to find the best way to start out, and it tells me to make the Omega bench, kibble bench, and tame up some vanillas. I can do that pretty easily. Plus, I'm leveling like crazy thanks to this newbie buff. So if I can progress fast, I can really take advantage of it. Made a foundation and placed down the Omega bench. There's an egg collector built into Omega, so eggs should be really easy in getting. I just gotta make the collector. The kibble machine will be easier since it's just metal, but I have no idea where any of the resources are on this map. I spent some time searching for metal and crystal so I can make a spyglass, but died to an alpha eruption dillo. I didn't even make a bed, so now I just gotta go searching for my things. Got my stuff back and saw two dodos chilling. One I killed for hide and the other one I used to bear me some eggs. Whisked it away to base only to get clapped by an alpha starfire diplo, which decided to try and claim my land as his own. So I had to get my things back again and hold a small eulogy for my dodo. Now I'm back on my search for a crumb of metal. I found crystal and immediately made a spyglass because I be forgetting how spooky normal Arc is without it. Died to an ultimate wood compy while trying to get a pearl one. I was pretty deep, so I just cut my losses and just started somewhere random. I'm so glad I did this because I immediately see an Itchy who ran out of the water. It was looking shiny and metallic, so I swim up to it wondering if my luck is good, press G, and it turned out to be a loot Itchy, which drops random gear depending on the tier. It dropped a gang of loot, and this was all stuff I desperately needed starting out. I got a net gun, ethereal spear, which cannot be broken, isn't affected by gravity, and is unlimited, aka a spear who is just him. A summoning orb that can summon or mount for water, land, or sky, and a Hades torch, which is unbreakable light source. I also got some metal, so I remade my Omega workbench and built up a small shack. This time placing a bed. Spent rest of the day and entire night ducking and dodging an alpha uncontrollable Zomdodo and eventually finding it, but just could not kill it. Tamed the dodo, but that Zomdodo eventually caught me lacking and killed me. Saw a metal Pego Mastex chilling. If I kill it, I'd get a bunch of metal. So I took some time, but I finally killed it. Now I just need cementing paste and crystal for the egg collector. I did end up getting some crystal, but I got by an Omega Stone Piranha. Snagged stuff back, made a spyglass, used the spirit orb to fly around and search for beaver dams. Found a spiritual Omega soul chilling at the bottom of the water, so yeah, that's mine now as well. Then made a respawn point, which allows you to teleport, but it only works on other respawn points. Made some narcotics, which then turned into basic sedatives, got some metal, placed down the kibble machine, and used my measly 3 eggs to craft the kibble. Tamed the metal trilobite, and after it was done, holy hell, 7k in metal immediately. I will never have to worry about metal again. I also have some eggs for some nature and nightmare kibble as well. Killed some trilobites for chitin and made some cementing paste. Now I can get an egg collect and start out this mod properly. Integrated my female dodos, and now it was time to tame some basic creatures. Tamed the knockback trike to use as a ride cause running on my little feeties are a struggle. Killed a dodo with a ring around it. It gave me a unique saddle. Now there's two different ways to use this. One is to consume it to get a saddle or place it in the Omega altar with the basic Omega essence to summon in a battle god. But while dilly dallying, I got sucked into a black hole that ended me and my trike's life. I did manage to get my stuff back after many attempts, and then make the seed mod table. Tamed a beta summoner trilobite for eggs. That's right, I'm already on beta for certain variants. However, I won't be able to progress without crops, so gotta make sure that the seed table farm mod is on point. Got jump scared by a damn shark on land. Thought I had lagged out for a second, but nope. That shark grew legs and walked up to say hi. I ran for my life, but I managed to see that this was a unique dino. My very first time seeing one. They were a combination of two different elements. This one looks like nature and spiritual. Escaped death and went back to farming and taming. Teamed a beta elemental Mossy, used it to kill a beta wood trike, and got me my very first quest soul. These are super important to Omega as they will often give Paragon souls, which are then used to upgrade your Omega dino, or so I believe. Got some organic poly by killing some Hesperonuses, made a fabricator, electronics, and finally got a TP going. Now I don't have to keep searching for my body every time I die. I finished my basic tier with this mythic tame and got a charm at some point while I was ending these dinos' lives. It was time to focus on a specific path so I can increase my chances of killing things rather than getting everything before moving on. Because I wasted so much time trying to collect every basic dino. The repeated deaths and time for travel wasted so many days. Now I made some early set tokens along with sedative. These set tokens are pretty much the basic tiers of the various bonus armor. Killed a loot Hesperonus and got a multi-tool, which is exactly how it sounds. It's a pick, axe, sickle, and club all in one. I opened the token and got a cloth hat that disables blindness and a shirt that gives 10 health per second. Killed a beta loot Dillo and got a medallion along with some miscellaneous stuff. I decided to focus on elemental dinos, which so far has been a lot easier to find around my base. So I knocked out an alpha water Dillo, a basic summoner vulture so I can actually fly around, and because I had an extra kibble. But it sucked. I also had gotten night vision thanks to the medallion. Found a beta starfire compy soldier and it looked like it had wings, so I tamed it just in case it can fly. And turns out it can. Just found me a new mount, baby. This thing was also fast as hell, man. I just lucked out. I would just drive by while hitting his starfire ability. Honestly, one good mount will change up your game completely for this mod. I was running through dinos now. Felt like I was on top of the world till I quickly got humbled and lost my compy. Yeah, I needed a break after that one. I did manage to get an egg from the compy before it died, so I can tame an alpha cosmic when I get back on. After meditating to lower my high blood pressure after that last night, I got back on and made some poly and a TP remote. Tamed the ghost raptor because it looked kind of cool and had a decent amount of health. But once morning came, it became super weak. Health wise it stayed the same, but man, the damage was terrible. According to the guidebook, they aren't even able to be ridden or attacked during the day, so maybe that's why. Tamed an alpha antimatter drone which drained my arrows, so before I put it in the collector, I'm gonna need it to use it to kill things. But turns out its ability is only good to get rid of other creatures' cooldowns, so into the bin with it. Tried the raptor during the night and the change is extremely noticeable. 2k damage versus 400 compared to the morning. I got this Sarco beta because I still needed an egg layer and this girl was just chilling by my base. Since I'm already at alpha cosmic, I think I'm just gonna dive into cosmic creatures today. I thought elemental would be easier, but I'm already past alpha thanks to the drone. And yes, I won't say no to any other variants, but right now my goal is to get an omega cosmic creature. As of right now, I'm on prime for elemental, cosmic, and now with this alpha Jerboa tame, also for ethereal, and now guardian as well. I swear, Ark is that game where as long as you don't need something to happen or want it to, it will happen. But if you want or need it to happen, it's game over because you'll spend the entire day looking for it and it won't appear. Got a prime warp parasaur, but lost my raptor to some unfortunate events and tamed up this beta meso. I realized that smaller creatures are just way easier, and if I exclusively look for them with Dino Finder, knock them out, I can eventually get all my tiers to Omega a lot easier. It takes so much less strength and time to knock out smaller dinos like this prime elemental Lystro and beta nature compy. Just gotta keep going after these little egg laying guys. So here's a little montage of me taming. I did try to tame a prime singular direwolf, and after sinking so much into it, it aggroes an ultimate mammoth which kills it, leaving me literally raging. I made omega arrows and sunk half of my stock into it, sunk all my prime arrows into it, spent so much time on trying to tame it, repeatedly dying. For that bull to happen, yeah, I'm tight. I had to use the Alpha Tornado Compy just to recoup my losses, and if this girl dies, I'm done. I will legit kill this 100-day challenge. Killed the Tempest leader, which dropped me 2 things, a unique weapon called the Kaleidoscope, which has bonuses, and a Tempest hat, which is something I already have, but this one has imbued stats, which is added stats on top of the mod based ones. Tried the Kaleidoscope on the Prime Dillo, and it was doing a decent job. It had a bunch of effects that kind of got spread out in all directions. It was cool to see, but it was still kind of weak. Now it was time to go back to taming and killing. Kept this up until I died to a godlike Avalanche Warrior. I'm honestly not as sick as I should be right now. I knew it was going to happen, and I've gotten a bunch of essence on that run, which is what I use to make arrows and kibble. I tamed an ultimate elemental Lystro, and once that pooped out an egg, it was time to immediately go after an Omega. Found an Omega, set up a trap, died 10 times, and eventually lost all my things. Don't even know how, it just kind of glitched away into the void that is Ark. I was this close to quitting till people on the server helped me out and gave me back the arrows and a crazy bow. I'm sick it happened to me because I was just this close to taking my first Omega till bull happens, and it felt like I was back to square one because I had no more souls or essence. I was banking it all on that Omega. Eventually someone spawned in some Omegas at the beacon for me and tanked it while I shot at it. It was this OP Tech Reaper, max level, that had the ability Barrage. Don't even know what that is, but it's mine now. Went around getting revenge on all things Omega. Then took out this Centurion Bio Giga, just cuz. Went on a massive killing spree that ended up killing me. Yeah, I lost my OP Reaper to a godly NPC. That sucks. I mean, I got a ton of stuff from it, so I'm not really too worried, and I still have this unique bow, a bunch of medallions, and souls. Now this bow locks on and never misses. It's actually amazing. I also got this unique net gun that pops out a flare that does damage. Someone on the server summoned in an Omega Tech Griffin, which they let me tame up after the tragic loss of my Reaper, even giving me a Paragon Soul, which will boost up its stat. Once fed, it pretty much doubled its stats, which is crazy. Thanks to the help of the people in the server, especially after that annoying glitch where I lost everything, I managed to get every alpha and a lot of prime. I'm still missing a couple, but that's a problem for tomorrow. Opened my first chest ever. Now these chests appear all over the map, however, you need essence to open it. The amount depends on the chest. This one only needed 45 ultimate essence and gave me a spectral boss soul. It says to put it in the trophy slot on the Mega Beacon to make the next boss a beta spectral boss, or in a god egg to summon the spectral god. Killed some low level NPCs, which gave me a unique summoning orb, which gives you fire dinos instead of the galley and PT that I was using, and a hat that gives familiar minions 75% damage. Tamed up some prime and ultimates. These god arrows that was given to me are a cheat, so I'll kind of vault them for now and just use beta and primes and ultimate. Got a unique multi-tool called the Swiss Army Tool. Now the club feature refills torps on KO dinos, which is great. Among other things that as of right now, I'll probably never use. Once I finish off my prime tier, I started to build up base cause living in this shack just ain't cutting it no more. Made some floating platforms and plan on taking to the sky. First and foremost, I'll need to start the seed mod in earnest because right now I'm slacking, so placing this greenhouse island is an important step into overcoming this mod. But I misplaced the first one I crafted and couldn't find it, so I had to make a new one. Actually, now that I think of it, chances are I had it on me when that bull happened and I lost everything. Knocked out this cool looking dino. It looked like a shark with 4 heads, a real unique looking guy. I wonder what would happen if I set him up and mated them with another shark, and 2 out of the 4 heads didn't like her. What would they do then? These are questions that must be answered. Once tamed, this thing looks menacing. Over 1 million health, and honestly, I can't wait to try it out. But right now, base is more important. And working up the seed farm mod was taking a while when it really shouldn't have. Eventually someone gave me a blue star, which makes it so crops grow so much faster, but I realized it was my greenhouse dome platform that broke my crop plots, so I had to redo all of my hard work on a different platform. All I managed to do was get to tier 2 in seed farm and move everything to a new platform, so not much was done. I also tamed this farming raptor, which can water my crops for me as long as you put unstable water in its inventory. These next couple of days I did nothing but work my way up the tiers in the seed farm mod, getting everything ready to take on the final boss, which will in turn give me the duplication crop plot. This will cut down on the grind needed for this mod significantly. I ended up getting bored, so I took a break and went taming for ultimates, finally finishing off that tier with my last tame here. It was finally time to tame up some Omegas. I had knocked a couple for when I was finally ready to to tame them up. Not gonna lie, this Fenrir is my favorite, and I'm honestly gonna be mating this one with the other Fenrirs. Mating in this mod, from what I can remember, is a lot different from normal Ark, but I'm sure I'll be able to pull up the guide when it's that time. Take out Four-Headed Sharky for a swim to farm black pearls, which is pretty much the last thing I'm missing for the seed farm mod, and before I can take on the seed farm boss. Ended up having to look up the spawn location for the nodes because farming kills was just not getting me enough. I felt like Plankton looking for the secret recipe of the Krabby Patty formula with the way that these black pearls had me searching the bottom of the ocean, but I got it. And along the way I even made some friends. I'll breed the Fenrir and Raptor, maybe even the Reaper, but the Siren Argy is going into the egg collector. I already got a couple of Omega egg poopers in there. Now it was time to take on the seed farm boss. Made a max armor and some potions before the fight. And what a fight it was. I was literally left running, using all my heals just to get away. Each hit did like 1/3 of my health, and I did like 13 damage, so not much at all. My ability to clone also didn't work on it. I had to even juke it out just to TP away like a coward. Created another one and tried using a pre-made trap, but it just didn't want to stay inside. So I created my own trap with a gap big enough for me to spew my lightning in it, but it was taking forever. So I tried to go about it in a different way. I tamed 2 different Omega Cosmic Sabertooths, one male, one female. I plan on eventually mating them, but right now I need them to attack this guy with their OP ability. I switched off the 2 consistently hitting the boss with both ability, which was honestly dealing so much more damage than my Griffin was. And this is without levels, so I can only imagine them with levels. Finally killing it after some time and getting a bunch of seeds and essence, which is what I need for duplicate crop plot. Made the Sabertooth breed and went artifact hunting for my first duplicate crop plot. Once I made it, it was time to start duping things. It's slow though. I'm gonna need a couple more of these crop plots. Now it's time I get these Omega Sabertooths tanked up to deal with this boss again. I also tamed this unique Iguanodon called a Mentor. It's a mix of a Nightmare and Summoner. The Banshee scream it does helped a lot with the next boss summon. I was doing like 1.5 times my normal damage, and it made this fight go by a lot quicker this time. Fixed up the rest of my crop plots and now should have everything set to give me infinite resources. Did the boss a couple of more times with my many Sabertooth and made my first Omega Beacon. I was forced to, honestly, since the seed farm boss I summoned is still at the boss spawner, and I honestly can't take that out yet without cheesing. Placed it down and summoned in some creatures. First summon got a Comet Corrupted Bronto, which isn't bad at all. At the end of my taming spree, I managed to get a couple of cool looking dinos, like this Omega Skeleton Titan Boa, and a Sinal Crop. Just kept summoning for a couple of days, and my best ones so far are these fellows. I also lost my Griffin taming this Dodo Wyvern, rest in peace. Took on some basic tier bosses, honestly took a bunch on at once because they were just so easy to fight. I did have help with tanking damage, but honestly they were barely dealing any to begin with. Even tried a beta boss and still destroyed it. Summoned in a beta god, and not gonna lie, this is probably where I cap out on because this one took a hot minute. Once I was done though, I fed the soul to my Wyvern and it got a crazy boost in stats and a new skin. I even tried an alpha boss and still lit it up. Man, I'm really feeling unstoppable right now. Asked in the chat what's next and got told to grind. So I think that's what I'm gonna do for a while. But first, had to take a quick break to hunt some treasure chests. This is the best way to get boss souls, god souls, and paragon soul. Honestly, after a couple of minutes I had a lot of good stuff. Even got something called a breaker. Don't really know what it does, but I got it. I had enough paragons to break some and create a basic unique token, then place it in the crop plot, which gave me a ton of them. Went around killing dinos on foot because there's a way to rank up your character by killing different tiers. Finally found a potion compy, which is something extremely necessary as it will feed your dino health and stamina potions automatically, but I killed it by accident. Later summoned an Omega Dragon that was gonna take hundreds of arrows to knock, so I did some side quests to hopefully make my life easier. There's clothing sets that will boost the amount of damage the warp bow does, so I made a ton of early sets and just got to cracking them open, hoping to get a full set. Felt like the mystery box because I was just hoping I got that full set, and once I did, there was this cool effect that occurred at the bottom of your feet. But even with the full set on, I was barely doing any torque till someone on the server helped me by cursing it, allowing me to do so much more damage, making it pretty damn easy to knock out at that point. I guess it was pointless to make so many arrows. Might as well summon in some uniques and tame the ones that interest me. So I summoned in some uniques and did bosses non-stop. This led to summoning in an Alpha Psychosis boss and finally the god to get the soul to feed to my new dragon pal. Fed it to him during a boss fight, and I gotta say, it's not that good. Compared to the Dodo Wyvern, it pales in comparison. Just look at the dragon. It takes ages to kill basic tier bosses, while the Dodo Wyvern dead one-shots beta, eats their food and suns. Like, I was feeling real confident, to the point where I actually might even name this Dodo Wyvern, because it deserves that respect. Summoning the Rage Group God, and thanks to the other person's tanks, my guy was literally just shredding. It was easy work, especially with the curse effect that kept getting stacked. Killed it off and got the Group God soul. I fed this to my dragon to get all the variant abilities. But first, gotta name my Dodo Wyvern. Ended up naming her Got That Dog in Him, cause she do. Put the soul in the dragon and hand fed him, only for it to betray me by becoming an uncontrollable mutt. Needed some catharsis, so used my Trilobite Paragon souls to upgrade my Prime Spirit unique Trilobite. Got him to Omega, then watched a crazy boss fight go down. Rest of the time was spent building base. Now the first building is used for crafting. All of these kitchen appliances actually act as different stations, except for this coffee machine which acts as a generator. Second floor is another crafting spot and where I sleep. Got a spot to showcase all my gear, which will get auto sorted thanks to the Omega Black Hole. And lastly, this spot is storage and Omega stuff. Someone had summoned in a Vash, which is apparently the thing that was helping tank all that damage prior when I was fighting. So now my current goal is to turn it into an Omega. To do that, I need to collect Paragon souls for it. Went out on foot to up my player rank and hopefully find treasure chests so my Paragon soul collection becomes bigger. Took out some NPCs for fun of it, and went around chainsaw massacring everything in sight. Thanks to that, I was able to complete a couple of quests and got a ton of souls, but nothing I needed right now. Tamed an Omega Corrupted Starfire Griffin, which will be perfect for taming creatures from the beacon, since I can shoot off of it. Another tame to note was this Beast Omega Comet Alpha Dilo, which came out with 9.4 million health off rip. This thing when upgraded can be pretty dangerous. Also found this wee little Giga who was suffering from short man syndrome, so you know I took him under my wing to rehabilitate him. Now it's time to take on some bosses. I want to make my Dodo Wyvern into a group god. I know I just need one of every boss soul, so if I'm not mistaken, before I take on this boss, let's grab a potion dino even if it's not a good one. This Dodo will have to do. Set up my dinos and summon in the bosses. Immediately the bubble pop. I guess because the Dodo doesn't replenish stamina like the potion comp with its unique saddle. Then my Dodo thinks he's a big man and runs up to the boss only to get clapped. After that, it was pretty much just endless bosses. Finished them off and found a chest that actually gave me a couple of Paragon souls. At this point, I have a lot for direwolves, but no good direwolf. I'll have to find a good direwolf eventually so I can upgrade it. Use this giant egg to summon in a god and did this 6 times for each variant. Got all 6 souls. Now what you finna do, group guy? Cause I'm coming for you. Summoned it in and just got obliterated. I didn't even have a shot. Without someone's OP Vash to tank the damage, my Dodo Wyvern just couldn't keep up. So yeah, my strongest team is gone. I could probably rebuild myself, but no time. I wasted so much of my time on vanity projects like my house or player ranking. This mod, you can honestly just do so much in it, and I got lost in this mod's eyes. So you cannot blame me for being a romantic. Maybe I'll do it 200 days, but honestly, after that loss to my strongest team, I'll probably just restart and do it on ASA or something.